And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, January 25th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. I am glad to be here this morning, and as Judge Tatum said yesterday, on special assignment, but we're all set to go here this morning and talk about Cedarstone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We might talk a little bit more about Donalds this morning because Robert McDonald is with us, and he's the man in Donaldson. Good morning.
Coleman, good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to see you as always, and I hope hope things are going well.
Everything's going well, Coleman. I'm glad Bob's on assignment today, so I can come up here and be with you. So it's always good to talk with you on Wednesday morning.
He was telling me the other day how much you actually enjoy coming 25, I guess it's about 25 miles from Donaldson. I don't know where you live, but anyway, you come up here, and you were here when I got here.
I live in the Old Hickory area, Coleman. It's always a peaceful drive coming up. Now, you never know what you're going to get going back towards Donaldson, but I do always enjoy coming up here with you. And you know, Bob says, Robert, feel free to go in the office and call in. I said, Bob, I love being up there with the family.
You want to see where the action is.
That's exactly right.
Billy and MJ, say good morning to them and all that good stuff.
That's exactly right, Coleman. Yeah. So it's always good being with you.
It's always nice. And I must say, you look like a distinguished banker this morning.
Well, thank you, Coleman.
You are dressed very appropriately. And I like the fact that you don't have a tie on, but you've got your suit and a blue suit and a blue shirt that matches. Your mother'd be proud of you.
She would be, wouldn't she? Yeah. I'll try to have that tie on by 8 o'clock, but if I don't, just don't say anything to Bob about that today.
I got it. Well, we a lot of times we do talk about the economy and what's happening. Bob seems to really have his either finger in the air or nose to the ground or whatever you say. He comes up with a lot of that. I'm sure you do too.
Yes, sir, I do.
But I don't know how much that directly affects us, but if interest rates go up, it does affect us some.
It does. Coleman, you and I were talking about that before we went on air. I mean, when interest rates, and they increase so dramatically, we were this time last year, we were, you had the 30-year mortgage rates in the threes and then some points below, so the 3%. And so it has raised, but historically we're still in a good spot. I know it's of course tapered, loan demand, and when you get to those higher rates, you price some people out of the market, but we're prepared for it. But as Bob always says, when y'all talk about our local economy, here in Wilson County and Davidson County is strong. Consumer demand is still high, so we're very optimistic about this year.
Now, no doubt, you talk with him and the people in Mount Juliet, and you kind of know the climate, and each one of these offices has sort of a different clientele, different area of service. Is there much difference in what you do in Donaldson and what goes on in Mount Juliet or here in Lebanon?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. We, as you know, we strive to take care of our community. We have a great team in Mount Juliet now. I'm not sure if you know, we've met Bob Jacobs yet. He leads our Mount Juliet staff, and he may be listening this morning. And so our Mount Juliet staff is wonderful. I know you're very familiar with the folks here in Lebanon, but we all just take care of each other and take care of our customers and our communities.
Well, if we say this quite often, if you need a loan, go to Cedarstone.
Right. I love your tagline there.
You've got money to lend, and that's the name of the game. That's not the only way banks make money, but primarily, I guess, the income for a bank is from the loans.
Primarily, yes, sir.
And so if the loan business is good, you're doing well.
Yes, sir.
If they repay.
As Willie always says, he only remembers those folks that didn't pay him back. So as long as they repay, but as you know, Coleman, a bank like us, we're all about the relationship too. I know we always discuss our free checking account, coming in to see us and meeting our folks, getting that checking account established, let us get to know you, you get to know us, and we can talk about those loans as well.
Right. Well, your credit rating, and if you know somebody's not going to pay you back, you don't want to make the loan. It's that simple.
Of course.
But if somebody's got a decent credit rating and they have established a relationship, the answer is probably going to be yes.
Unlike most, of course, there's always credit and checks, and we check the credit score and history of somebody. But we're not really a bank that goes just off your credit score. You have to have this score in order to get this loan. We kind of go off that relationship, and that means having accounts with us, knowing you. We're here to help. If you had something in the past that kind of went awry, and you had some derogatory remarks, we can work through that sometimes. We're about that relationship and helping people out. So.
Well, you've had that free checking account for since the bank began.
As Bob always mentions, since we opened.
Not only is it free, there's so many perks that go with it. That's why I think it may be the best free checking account there is.
Pay for your checks so you can use your Cedar Stone Bank debit card anywhere in the world. Bob likes to say Cedar Stone Bank is global because of that aspect. But those foreign ATM fees can be upwards of $4 or $5 these days. So we understand we're not on every corner. So we want you to, if you need to access your money from another bank's ATM, we reimburse what that ATM charge is, which is a great perk.
Just doesn't get much better than that, and there's not a minimum amount that's required.
No, sir.
In a lot of this, you can even once you get established, at least you can do online. And that's another thing. Bob and I have talked about quite a bit here lately, and I find myself I don't go to the office that much.
Right,
you can do it right there.
You can. A few years ago, we invested in that technology. We have a great, as you know, Coleman online platform. You can, if you receive a check, you can deposit checks that way. If you say you misplace your debit card, you can turn your debit card on or off through that platform, just to ensure that no fraud might happen. So it's a great online platform, and all those perks are free.
And that debit card is I've gotten spoiled.
Yes, exactly. It's easy to do. It really is.
It is so easy to use.
Yes, sir.
It really is.
Yes,
and it's so convenient. Well, you got a great bank, got some great people, and I'm not that acquainted with the Donaldson office, but I am glad to get to see you from time to time.
It's so good to see you, Coleman.
Well, all right. Well, have a good one, and we'll talk to you or Bob or somebody next Wednesday.
We'll see you soon, Coleman. Thank you.
Robert McDonald, he is with the Donaldson branch of Cedar Stone Bank. 3 locations, Lebanon, Mount Jewett, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. We're just about 11 minutes after the hour. Melanie Mentor likes to come at 7:30, but it didn't exactly work out this time. She is here as my guest on part 1 of Coleman and Company this morning. Melanie, President, CEO of the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. I feel like it's been a while.
Well, it has. It has. We did not. I don't think we had a time with you in December. It's probably November was the last time you were here.
Yes, I believe we had a guest in December, and so, but I'm back, and we have, of course, a lot of things to talk about.
Well, with all that you're spreading out before you here, if we get to talk about, a little bit about each page, we're probably going to do well this morning.
We will, but as the county grows, the chamber grows, and so we do have a lot to cover, and we want to make sure that everybody, in the cities and in the county know what we're out and about doing, and making sure that we are doing the right thing with our program of work.
All right, where do you want to start this morning? I have an idea, but I'm going to let you bring it up.
Well, there's several things, but we can start with your idea, which is, I know the upcoming.
You know me.
I know you. You have received an award. So I do want to just mention, then we'll come back to it, the 2023 annual membership meeting and award celebration. Mm-hmm. We're really excited about that. It's coming up on February the 9th, neon lights and satin nights. So
and, you've got tickets available, and it's going to be where?
Tickets are available. They are available online, or you can call us as well. It will be at the Mill at Lebanon. Yes. Mm-hmm. We'll do our regular cocktails, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., dinner at 6:30. We will definitely have our meeting and give out all of our great awards. We're really excited about our award winners. The individual cost is $70 per person. To reserve a table for 8, it's $5.75. We encourage you to dress in business attire, of course, or festive casual. Just let us know whatever is convenient for you to wear, to be there. We want to invite anyone in the community that does not know a lot about the chamber and what we do at the chamber, and how we service Lebanon and Wilson County. We encourage them to attend that. It is sponsored by F&M Bank. I do want to mention Red Carpet and Award sponsor, Send Credit, and then production sponsor, Famous Footwear. Mm-hmm. And then we actually have cocktail hour, and that is provided by Brooke Porter at Market Basket.
All right, all that's coming up February the 9th. That is a Tuesday, you said?
That is a Thursday night.
Thursday, February 9th at the Mill. And get your tickets before they're all gone.
That's exactly right. But I'm sure we will find a way to get you in. You can purchase tickets on LebanonWilsonChamber.com.
All right, what else you got?
Well, just kind of wanted to go over a few things that we've been out and about doing as of the first of the year. Of course, all of our planning goes in through from November to December, and then we plan after each event the year before, just kind of like Wilson County Promotions. You got to keep going after one event, regroup, and then come back and get ready for the next year. But some of the things that we have really focused, or that I personally have focused on this year, is meeting with our new board members. So I kind of wanted to go over them with you today. So we did have our retreat at the Holiday Inn and Avid Hotel in Mount Juliet, and that was just this past Friday. We were excited to go over to Mount Juliet to be able to experience that new hotel, and we're excited that we could come together as a board and, put out ideas and talk about our program of work and where we need to move forward and just do things differently, possibly than what we've been doing in the future. But able to have those meetings, able to meet with the people that are really excited about being on the board and serving our community. A lot of people think when they are serving our community, they think about the chamber. Mm-hmm. We are a resource. And so not that we're just an arm of government, but we are out there and we are supporting education. We are supporting lots of different areas in town. Of course, our local businesses that are opening. We're growing so much in that area. In Lebanon, we are also growing in Mount Juliet, but, we have the industry coming in, the New Balance, REI. I mean, we can go on and on about, what's happening here. But really, for us to be out and about as a chamber is really important to us. I did want to go over some of our new board members.
I'll tell you what. Let's do that after we take
You got it.
Melanie Mentor with the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce is my guest. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:16, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Morning, I'm looking at a crash that's slowing down traffic at the bottom here of Ellington Parkway before you get to Spring Street. There's a lot of traffic coming down from the top to the bottom here on Ellington Parkway. Because of this crash slowing down traffic here around the bottom here at Spring Street, traffic's picking up even more with that volume on 40 through Mount Juliet, coming in from Wilson County headed towards Hermitage. Hey, Nash Painting services all of Middle Tennessee. Check them out online today. They've got great ratings, great reviews. NashPainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company here on a Wednesday morning. Melanie Mentor, Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. All right, you've got some new board members you want to talk about.
I do. I want to mention those, and throughout the year, we'll bring some of those in to kind of talk about their different divisions and what they actually do and how they participate as volunteers for the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. But without our board of directors and guiding with the program of work, and without the staff of Andrea, of course, she does a lot for us, VP of Finance and Membership. And then we have Kim Lassay, and she's doing a great job at marketing, telling our story, getting that story out there. We also have Stephanie McCaleb, who's support, who is really enjoying our events, ribbon cuttings, and then Shay Moore, who is at our office at the coordinating position. So without all these people, there's no way that we could actually pull all this off for Lebanon and Wilson County. But I did want to go over some people that are very important to us, and that is our board. Wes Dugan will be our new chairman of the board. Gerard Coggins is our new chair-elect for 2023. Greg Butler is treasurer. Bob Zinker is still over special events. Ian Isbell is, of course, with ambassadors. So he is out there making sure that we are getting those ribbon cuttings cut, and he actually sponsors the ribbon cuttings. We want to thank him for that. Philip Vance is still the sports council, over the sports council division. Rusty Richardson represents Cumberland. He's with government relations. Debbie Lowe's with F&M Bank. Again, we want to thank them for our annual banquet. They do a lot for us each year. Scott McCarver, he is the president of Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Becky Kegley, Lebanon Special School District. Heather Stafford, TriStar Summit. Lynn Williams, Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Corey McDonald, Buckeye Drugs. Kenny Salas, Keller Williams Realty. Matthew Ryan, Rochelle McCullough and Alds, Scott Walker, Action Restoration, James Danella, Media Vision Advertising, and then Christine New, Tucker's Gap Event Center, Dale Merritt, Middle Tennessee Electric, Jeff Peterson is past chair of chairs, Novamet, and then Kurt Baker, of course, our past chair, who was chairman last year, and he will be, again, over the education division. So as you can see, we have a variety. We have a strong group of leaders in our community, and they do service all of Lebanon and Wilson County, and I cannot appreciate them enough.
All right, and some of those, I guess, will be installed officially on the evening of February 9th.
You got it. They will be officially installed in front of membership, so we're really excited for the new year, and we're really excited about the celebration.
Well, these years just seem to fly by. It doesn't seem that long since Kurt was sitting here and talking about his year as
Chairman of the board.
chairman of the board, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what you got, Wes Dugan, I think a lot of people know him. He's made his name in the
That's
community.
right.
So
He definitely has been, been a chamber advocate for years. Kurt Baker for 15 years or more. He's probably one that's sat around and been around the chamber for a very long time. We have very much appreciated him being our chairman, and we look forward to Wes here in the future.
well, I know you're always concerned about membership, and I don't know whether that's on your agenda, not this morning, but are you holding on pretty good to the new members that you've gotten in the last 2 or 3 years?
We are. I mean, we are.
Retention is important.
Retention is important. What we do is important, but really listening is the most important thing that we can do as a chamber. Anything that we can do to better ourselves for the community, for the county, is just a top priority. So we do have 1,319 members at this point.
1319.
So we have definitely grown. We are still growing. We had over almost 150 new members last year, and that's just through the chamber, through Andrea's hard work. Of course, we get people calling in. We both try to meet with them personally, still give that personal touch. We want to know who they are, and we want to be able to get out and about and meet them.
And one thing about the chamber, I think you find this out about a lot of things. You get out of it kind of what you put into it, and you can get a lot or you can get a little, and it kind of depends on how active and supportive and involved that you are.
You do. I will say this, our staff really feels like it is our job to try to get to know people and to try to place them in the right area for them. Everybody has a different reason for joining the chamber. We are very lucky. We have the members that have been with us for a long time that also know what we do for the community. And so they are willing, to not be a part of a group or a division or a program just because they know that we're out there really helping the community in any way that we can. So we appreciate those members. We appreciate the members that come in and want to network. We appreciate the members that just want to support the community overall.
Yeah. Okay, what else you got for us?
Talk a little bit about some things, places I've been lately that are important that we're looking at, with different things of being out on the weekends. And I could not do what the Wilson County mayor does, and I could not do what the city mayor does, or any part-time mayor over there in Mount Juliet or Watertown. But really, just trying to get out and meet as many people as I can to be out as a face for the chamber. I did go to MLK, the Unity Walk on the 14th. I was on the 16th, even though the chamber was closed. I wanted to go over and spend time with the veterans at the Veterans Building, so the VFW. So got to go over and talk to them a little bit about the chamber, about how we can help them in the community, how we can get them engaged and involved, so that they can grow, as a body themselves. So those are a couple of things that I just wanted to mention that we definitely are trying to get out more as far as weekends and different places we can go. We can't be everywhere, but we want to be as present as possible.
Well, speaking of presence and this sort of thing, this has been going on for a long time, but I'm not sure that it's ever been any stronger than it is right now. And maybe that's because we're having more ribbon cuttings to go to. But it seems like it's 2 or 3 every week. I guess I'm exaggerating a little, but there are a lot of ribbon cuttings.
There really are not, and I'm going to go over a few here in a minute. That's just through January and a little bit into February. We have already have 5 or 6 ribbon cuttings in January. It's going to happen even more. We had our first business after hours this year over at Keller Williams with Kenny Salas, and that was a great turnout.
Well, by the way, do you still have that chamber pot?
We still have the chamber pot.
And it builds if you don't have a
and
winner?
It builds up if you, that is correct. I believe we are at $7.50 right now at our chamber pot. So, if you get a chance to come out to those business after hours, you get a chance to win a little money, and we give back. So
I know a few people who won't miss one because they're afraid if they miss, their name's going to be drawn.
And if they are drawn, we typically call them and let them know that it was drawn.
You never call me, so
so we'll let you know, Coleman, if your name is drawn.
You let people know what they've missed.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We'll kind of go into. Talked a little bit about board retreat on Monday. Went to the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce Executive Workforce Conference over at the City Club in Nashville. So I went over with Rob Coggins, who is our Economic Development Vice Chair and also Chair-elect. I was there with Adina Chumley, who is the Wilson Works Executive Director, as well as Gerard Bullock, representative from the Mount Juliet Chamber. So, again, we're trying to work together. We know it's important in our community, and we want to make sure that we are touching every area that we can to help our members.
Well, I'm Mike Jennings is supposed to be in here in a few minutes, and you think of Mike Jennings, you think of Watertown. Watertown has a Chamber of Commerce. Of course, it's the business community there is very small compared to Lebanon and Mount Juliet, but they're still active, are they not? And you have a relationship with them, I think.
They are still active. Yes, Austin Floyd actually was did a very great job last year. I talked to her several times by phone. We do try to keep in touch, and of course, our chamber certainly wants to promote anything that they do in Watertown and get over there and visit them as well. And I'll just throw this out there just for everybody to know. 2024 is going to be very special to us because it will be our 100th year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
For the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce.
One more year to go.
One more year to go, and we will be 100 years old. So we're super excited about that. We're going to have a planning committee that's going to go out. We will be all throughout Wilson County for an entire year. Board members, staff, volunteers. So you will see us all around just to let people know that we appreciate them, businesses big and small.
Well, that is something to celebrate, that you have actually existed as a Chamber of Commerce for 100 years, and there's been good times and some not so good, of course, but you've endured and made it. And you're here to help celebrate.
That's exactly right. It's a great time to be here. We have really expanded the chamber. We have really, again, listened to what people are telling us, and going forward and forward thinking, we have to do that. I mean, we have to be successful, and that's the only way we can be successful.
Even in my adult life, I mean, I can see the chamber has grown so much. There's so much more that you do. There's so many more awards that are given each year. It's just it's really amazing how much more involved you are than you were 40, 50 years ago.
That's exactly right. And, we are very lucky, fortunate for our 501c3 where we can help the county through the Wilson Rides program, the Wilson Works program. We're going to be putting out the app that we'll talk about next month. But, that's what we're here for. We're here for businesses. We're here for commerce. And we just want to make sure that we keep that going.
And of course, a big boost for education, too, which is something that has been added. It may have started, I guess it did start before you took over, but you've enhanced it, and that's good, too. Education is a very important thing.
That's right.
We've got about 45 seconds, and I know you want to wrap it up, reminding people about your banquet, your big event coming up on the 9th of February.
45 seconds. Whew, that's not much time. I'm going to run over a few of those ribbon cuttings that you talked about. We will have Craft That ribbon cutting. That's January the 26th at 11 a.m. We will also have Ascend Federal Credit Union ribbon cutting on February the 21st. I do want to mention the State of the County Luncheon on February 23rd, County Mayor Randall Hutto. Also want to mention the Imagination Dinner that will be held at the Expo. So that's education on April 6th. Stay the City, Mayor Rick Bell. We will have him there. We also have another ribbon cutting in March, ribbon cutting March 10th at 11 a.m. And then the Beaumont Med Spa, Rachel Deffendahl. I think a lot of people in town know her. She is actually a new member, so just wanted to highlight her as well. So we also have a 6:15 outdoor living ribbon cutting coming up. Last thing, please call us. Chamber is excited to have our neon lights and satin nights, and that will be on February the 9th. Please visit our LebanonWilsonCountyChamber.com and sign up, or call us at 615-444-5503.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Melanie Minter, Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce, and that is part one of Coleman Company. We've got more. We hope you'll keep it here, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get $50 off, $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still running slow over here on 40 westbound, just before Fessler's. As they move a stalled vehicle in this area, it's aggravating that traffic coming from the airport headed towards downtown on 40 westbound. Again at Fessler's. Very slow coming down to the bottom of Ellington Parkway as they clean up an accident just before Spring Street on Ellington Parkway southbound. Lots of radar earlier on I-40 through Kingston Springs. Keep that in mind as you come in from Dixon County. Hey, Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee, edibles, flowers, concentrates. They're online at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hello, Phoenix baseball fans. This is senior outfielder Sancho Farmer from Barstown, Kentucky, inviting you to follow the Phoenix on the air and online this season. You can hear all of our games on either WANT FM 98.9 or WCOR AM 1490, or online at WANTFM.com or GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Our first games are Friday, February 3rd at 2:30 and Saturday, February 4th at 11 a.m. We hope to see you soon. Go Phoenix.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lingering rain showers this morning, so allow extra time on your morning drive. And a wind advisory is in effect till 3 o'clock this afternoon, so be prepared for 20-mile-an-hour breeze and gusts hitting 55. We will see a high of 51 degrees for today, falling to 32 overnight. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
Attorney.
Coleman Company, welcome to part two here on a Wednesday morning. We're ready to talk about Herc Reynolds this morning. Herc Reynolds, located at 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Keith Hilly is the area manager. Dave Hurst is the assistant branch manager, but Josh Heatherly is one of the people you'll find there, and he is sitting in the chair to talk about it this morning. Josh, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Coleman.
It is good to see you, and you were here, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks ago. I was just telling you what a good job you did when you came before, but you ought to. You know all about the place.
I appreciate it.
Your father owned it for 15 years, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's actually probably closer to 20 years. 2001, I began is when he started the company, and then it wasn't until last year is when he sold it.
Right. Well, 1325 West Main, one of the things we keep reminding people is the phone number, 615-443-RENT, and the website now is hercrentals.com. Now, what you got for us today?
In the rental world right now, I know the weather and with it being cold and rainy, it's not a lot going on, but still with it being the beginning of January, a lot of projects getting started here in Wilson County. The holidays, a lot of people were off work, but now everybody's back at work looking to get things done.
Yeah, and you have so many times there's an item you need, but you really hesitate to buy it because you may not need it again for a long time. And really, I think that's where a rental place like Herc Rentals come in. You're right there, you've got it, you can get it for the amount of time that you need. You're through, you take it back, or you even have delivery service, and that's something Philip started a long time ago. For a nominal fee, you'll deliver the piece of equipment at the time specified, and when they're through, you come pick it up.
Yes, sir. There's definitely a lot of pros, I would say, to renting equipment rather than just going out and buying one, because if you're renting it, you're not having to do the service on it. You're not having to check it out, change oil in it, grease it, all the fittings. That's something that we do after every rental. It comes back to our store. It has to go through the shop before it can go back out on rental again. So that's one of the pluses of renting.
What do you mostly do?
So my role at the store is mostly going to be at the counter, taking calls, making reservations. Occasionally, I might have to deliver equipment as well if need be. But my main role would be just to be at the counter, helping the customers line up the reservations on the rentals, answering questions.
Well, I have to think that Keith and Dave both appreciate you and your experience there, because you probably got about as many answers as they've got.
Yeah,
you know how to deal with the public, and no doubt you're good at it.
I was gonna say it's definitely been a positive for me growing up there at the store, working at different positions at the store. From cleaning the equipment to loading the customers with the equipment. So that definitely helps me on my job at the counter because I can answer questions on the equipment
And you gotta, if somebody's got a job to do, they need the right piece of equipment. And sometimes you're not sure what you need if you're a customer. Other times you may think you need this when you really need that, and that's where you come in too, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's when we get customers that come in and customers that call in all the time, telling us what they have to do, and then asking us what do we think that they should use for that job. And, it's sometimes hard because not always seeing the job, actually seeing it with your own eyes. But we always try to do our best with using our knowledge of the equipment to give them the thing that'll work the best.
And you have a lot of people who are, you'd say, do-it-yourselfers, somebody that's just got a job to do here, and they may not do that same job for 10 years or whatever, but at the same time, you've got contractors who are your customers day in and day out, I understand.
Yes, sir. Yeah, these large contractors, they might have multiple jobs going in multiple, cities or counties, so they might not be able to move their equipment from one job to the next. So, we can get it out to that job, fill in the gaps that they need, and so that way that they can finish their job.
Well, I think that there's so many ways that you really can help people, and again, whether it's somebody in business, a contractor, or some do-it-yourself or whatever, just a home project. There's so much to be said for all the different kinds of equipment that you've got there. As we used to say, your father said everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we try to have a wide variety there at the store, and since we got acquired by Herc, we actually have been bringing in some smaller, like pro contractor tools, like hammer drills, core drills, some smaller equipment that we hadn't had before.
And what about, I believe it's propane, is that still going?
Yeah, it's still going strong with the weather still being kind of cold. Propane is still something that we're going through a lot of. Right now it's $3.85 a gallon, and we go through a whole bunch of it.
Anything else before you leave this morning?
Nothing that I can think of. I know we had a lot of rain last week. A lot of people were renting pumps, dehumidifiers, and fans. So if anybody's got water damage at their house or their business, we have the equipment for that too.
All right, that's a good point to end on. Again, 615-443-RENT, but you can rent through the website now, and that's hercrentals.com. And, of course, all your equipment and tools and everything is there for you to see if you go there on the internet.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
All right. That is Joshua Etherly with Herc Rentals, 1325 West Main in Lebanon, and we are 21 minutes before the hour. I want to welcome County Attorney and Watertown Mayor Mike Jennings this morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. You're a day late, but not a dollar short.
Well, always a dollar short, but yeah, I am a day late.
Let me explain. If our regular listeners would know, we had a special program regarding Cumberland baseball yesterday, and I had to be absent. I guess Helen doesn't mind me telling this. She had a procedure yesterday and came through it well. She's doing fine. We had to be there at 6:00 yesterday morning and came home. I guess it was about 3 when we got home, but she's fine. But I heard the second half, most of the second half yesterday, and they did a wonderful job telling about Cumberland University and the baseball and all this that's going to be taking place. And I appreciate Judge Tatum sitting in for me yesterday.
Helen's a Watertown girl. She's strong. She's strong. She's tough.
Oh, thank you. Well, I know we've got a lot to talk about, but I guess one of the first things I want to mention to you this morning really has to do with Watertown and not so much Wilson County, and that's I understand that Congressman Rose, with his help, you're going to get your roads paved in Watertown.
We are going to get a lot of them paved. The challenge for us will be if we can make it work to get them all paved. Yes, very helpful Congressman Rose was and his staff. Graham Conlon, Van Hillary, Ray Render, all those folks helped us, and they've really done a service to our community.
Well, I just know you. This has been something that you've talked to me about a little bit, and a time or two when I've been in Watertown and went through some of your city, and you had talked about it, and I had to agree. Yes, you knew to get them roads paved, and you were wondering how you're going to do it.
It's the biggest challenge we have. Of course, nobody rides herd on the roads like they do water and sewer. Water and sewer, you have to make improvements and stuff. Most of the time you need them. I don't mean to say that we don't, but if you got an oversight group like the state or the federal government telling you got to get it done, but on roads, you're on your own. And funding and getting it done, and when your general fund budget's $850,000 to $900,000 a year, that doesn't leave a lot of money for road paving.
Yeah.
So this will, with this, and with some money we have been putting away because we've been virtually debt free for 4 or 5 years. We have a few small ones, but nothing like we used to have, and possibly borrowing some money. I hope that we can do them all, Coleman. We have between 11 and 12 miles of streets in Watertown.
Wow.
And the estimate I've seen is about, $130,000, $140,000 a mile. So that tells you, plus you got to pay, you got the overhead built into it and all of that. So we'll go as far as we can. My goal is to get them all.
Well, we actually started with that instead of sports this morning.
Yeah, and we're close to the magical time when you hear those 4 words, pitchers and catchers report. We're getting close.
Well, yeah, and I guess you UT volunteer fans have the baseball to be happy about after last year.
Well, we are. We weren't happy that we went out so early, but we're happy, and we're happy with our basketball team. We're 16-3 and number 4 in the country, so we're ripe for an upset, I guess. When you climb up to the top, everybody shoots for you.
Well, I don't know. I think that might have been an upset when the Wildcats came calling to Knoxville recently.
You never did think you'd hear something like that with Kentucky beating Tennessee being an upset, but it probably was that night, based on how they've been playing.
Right.
Now, they're a better team than they've been playing.
Well, they took care of Vanderbilt last night. I don't know.
Yeah.
They went on a 9-0 run, I think, right before the half or right after the half, and they never looked back. I didn't see the game.
Vanderbilt's been a little surprising to me. I thought when they lost Scottie Pippen Jr.,
Yeah.
they kind of go in the tank, but they're pretty competitive.
Well, I think they're 11-11 now overall.
They're pretty competitive.
So that's a little better. I don't know that we got any. And want to get into anything. We're going to be talking about last night's county commission meeting and what's happening with the county. Just hadn't got there yet, but we're a minute ahead of a break. But MJ, if you're ready, we'll just go ahead right now. And more coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:43. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still heavy, but it's moving 24 westbound and through the Hickory Hollow area with all that heavy traffic coming through Rutherford County right now into Davidson up through the Antioch area. It's really slow over here on 40 westbound. People are staring at this earlier wreck as they drive by here at Fessler's. It's got it extra slow trying to get past Spence Lane on 40 westbound as you come from the airport side of town headed towards the downtown area. Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee. Edibles, flowers, concentrates you can order online. Snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
When you needed portable heating, cooling, generators and remediation equipment, contractor tools, or any other equipment or solution to help you get the job done, you trusted Absolute Rental and Supply. Now that same team brings you more equipment and more solutions as Herc Rentals. From construction and industrial to HVAC and homeowner, Herc Rentals has the gear and expertise to get jobs done efficiently, effectively, and safely. Visit us today at 1325 Main Street in Lebanon or online at hercrentals.com. That's HERCrentals.com.
Here we go, final segment of Coleman and Company for a Wednesday morning, and our regular listeners know Mike Jennings usually comes on Tuesday after Mayor Hutto has been here on Monday, but special program yesterday. I hope it's going to pay off well for Cumberland. What I heard yesterday sounds good, and I think they're going to have a good year, and I want to see them back in the that World Series. They've won 3 times.
Back playing in late May and early June.
Wouldn't it be something? You mean Woody won it 3 times, and now Ryan, if he could win that, you got a father and son, and at Cumberland, that'd be something.
That would be.
Well, last night we had a meeting, and I think last night was. Monday night. Monday night was the time when you have the reports from the trustee and the sheriff and the other county offices. Was anything interesting or earth-shaking about any of their reports that you remember?
Really not earth-shaking, but I hear things said that I wonder if a lot of people know. For instance, Quentin Smith reported on the Ag Center, and Quentin's always got a good dry humor about him, but he said for the lights out there, 40,076 cars went through. That's a lot of cars.
Yes.
He also said they were only down during that cold spell when the electricity was off, maybe an hour and a half or whatever. And then he talked about the mule sale, which is always amazing to me. And he said when they got done, he thought he was going to get a little rest, and they had 6 got loose.
Oh.
And so they had to round them up.
Oh.
So we had a roundup in Wilson County. Jeff Luttrell always has, the schools are the focus of just about everything going on in the county. I hope I heard this right, but he said our high school enrollment is up. Our high schools, our 5, are up 478 since the start of the calendar year. It's when they came back. So that's a lot of students, and we're above 20,000 system-wide.
Is that half of Watertown High School?
Well, it could be if they were all up there, and if they are, I hope they're football players. And I should.
Well, I mean, the 4 is what you got less than 1,000.
Yeah.
What? So if you got, that's a lot.
I think the last figure I saw was 666, and I said to Darian, can't you find one more or send one more somewhere? We don't need to have that number next to Watertown. We had some appointments. Alex. Well, let me say this wasn't an appointment. Alex Johnson spoke to the commission about the wheelchair challenge. He is in a wheelchair, and he challenged them on February 6th to live in a wheelchair for a day. So I don't know how many took up that challenge, but he made a very interesting and a very he was a very professional talk. Jerry McFarland gives us a historian moment from time to time, and we had one the other night that really, I think, kind of got everybody's interest, and that was back in the days when Wilson County was primarily a sheep producer, and the wool that was being produced here went straight to the woolen mill for them to use. And he had some old pictures. There was actually parades where every little town, like Taylorsville and those, had floats with wool or sheep, and then you had a sheep queen, and he showed all that. It's pretty interesting. He told me last night, I asked him at a committee meeting, I said, when were those parades? And he said he believed they were before World War II. So, but then he kind of segued into, there was a group there that started an organization here and is promoting sheep farming, and so hopefully it is coming back to some extent.
There used to be a wool pool, and I don't know much enough to even talk intelligently about it, but I think it was they all came together and pooled their wool and maybe got a better price or something.
Yeah. I guess they'd call that now cooperative or something, but I don't. And that leads me into something else. Mayor Hutto invited a representative from TVA and from a couple, I think, from Middle Tennessee Electric, and they addressed most of the commission from 6 to 7 about the energy problem we had during the extremely cold weather. That was I don't know that I understood all of it. I never have understood how electricity works other than you flip a switch and a light comes on. But they talked about how they had standby things prepared for this, and every one of them was used, or they even had contracts to buy electricity from other producers, and because they were going through such cold weather, they said, we can't honor them. We can't sell it to you now. Right. So, but they're learning from that, of course. And he said they've been having a lot of meetings.
I think one of the things, and I remember even bringing this up to somebody, it may have been Mayor Bell, but whomever, how that we're growing so much, and is the growth responsible? That in other words, that we don't have enough water or sewer or electricity to take care of the growth, and I think that's pretty much they've been saying no, that's we can handle it.
And they said that the other night. They said one of their primary goals, of course, was originally was flood prevention, but was for industrial and economic development. And they talk in terms of the valley, right. And they talked about that and how they're constantly preparing for that. But they assist in trying to recruit industry and that type of thing to the valley. So it was very. I didn't realize that they had contracts with major industries that provide that if they get into a crunch like that, the industry has to curtail their use.
This would have been asked, maybe they would have said something about it. The chances of this happening again.
It probably was. I didn't get there till 10 minutes after it started, so they may have asked that earlier. They also asked about the effect of electric cars, how that's going to affect things.
Well, what about the electric cars?
Well, the theory is that most people will be charging at night, and that'll be when the usage is down. But it really didn't, that I heard, address the issue of what one of these days, if we're all electric, how we're going to handle it.
That's well, I don't think this is going to happen overnight. I just don't think it can.
No.
And so maybe there's time to work on those things.
I'm going to give you an opinion that may not be grounded in fact, but I think I'm right. One of the reasons it's not moving any quicker is that the governments haven't figured out how to tax it. We tax gasoline and diesel, and we build roads with it. If we lose that, what's going to supplant that source of revenue? How are you going to tax that? And I'm sure people in rooms that they talk about these things are working on that. But there's got to be a replacement for all this gas tax money. And, even now we're talking about the gas tax money because of better fuel mileage. We're not bringing in what we used to keep up with the building of roads. So I think that's going to be a challenge. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. And frankly, I hope this is not right, Coleman, but you and I will probably be dead and gone before that gets worked out.
Well, You're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long-term process. But I believe so. Ford Motor Company didn't sink $11 billion into a plant in West Tennessee to build electric, and we have a lot of interest in this county in people who are building electric stuff to supply electric cars.
Yeah.
So, industry has decided it's going to happen. It's just how quickly, I think.
Well, anything else from the meeting Monday night?
Oh, we had several resolutions. Predominantly, we some challenges we're having, especially in the area of diesel fuel. We had 2 or 3 departments that are asking for more money for diesel fuel because the price has been up. It came down for a while and then went back up. So you never know how to budget for utilities or gas and oil. So we dealt with that. We had one for the school system, and we had one for animal control, taking 2 part-time people and making that person a full-time position. Several others, I think. Oh, and we every January we approve the county road list. Mm-hmm. And I think I heard Steve Murphy, the road superintendent, say we added 2.68 miles this last year to all our already existing. And we have a lot of road miles in this county, a lot.
A lot of subdivisions are developed, but the contractor usually gets that in good shape.
They build it. They are required to build it to road commission or county specifications, and then they are required to post a bond for a couple of years for maintenance, and then after that, it's our responsibility.
But eventually, the county has to take that over.
That's correct.
So
that's correct.
Yeah, and that is an ongoing thing. Steve doesn't particularly like to come out here, I don't think, but I need to get him out here to talk again.
Well, he has a lot of information, and he's kind of my go-to guy when I asked him about streets and that type of thing, but he has a lot of information, but I think he probably prefers being out on the road besides being in here with a microphone. But
well, all our departments from the reports and all, and you know a lot. You probably.
Well, I try to listen.
Probably know more than any other human being in Wilson County about a little bit about everything here, maybe even more than the mayor. You attend so many of these meetings, and if you're not there, you know what's happening. You know about the schools and all this. But where was I going with this?
I don't know, Coleman. Let's go somewhere else. How about that?
I did have our finance director, Aaron Maynard, out not too long ago.
Right.
I think we are in pretty good shape, but we still got to watch things.
We do, and all indications are we're in pretty good shape, but we got challenges coming. We talked last night. It's just a few months before we start hiring staff for the increased size of the jail. WEMA continues to take applications because they're a few short. The school system is, I think I heard Director Luttrell say 41 positions short of certified personnel. So you've got increased costs coming. You always got, we're going to have to build more schools. We know that. But we seem to have done a pretty good job. The county mayor and the finance director and the budget committee, county commission have done a pretty good job of managing their money. And so unless we just get hit with a major something like a earthquake or something that wiped out a lot of things, I think we can handle it.
What's coming up next month?
Don't know, but we begin the budget process. The budget letter, it's called, which sets out the dates that we're going to try to comply with, is out first week of February. Don't think you'll see a lot of activity on it until probably the latter part of March and early April. And then things kind of pick up and roll toward that June county commission meeting.
Well, refresh my memory. Have we not had the budget in place for the last year or two by the end of June?
We do.
And is that something we like better, or there's two ways to look at it, of course.
Yeah.
You can wait till after the fiscal year's over, know exactly where you stand, and wait till August to approve that and make it retroactive, which we've done until I think the last 2 years.
Yeah, the comptroller likes it better for sure, and they strongly encourage that, of course. And it's seems to have worked out fine for us. It condenses the budget process, which may or may not be bad, and we get it done at least, so maybe we can enjoy some of the rest of the summer instead of meeting 3 or 4 nights a week on the budget. But we're doing that now. I don't think we'll regress from that. I think we'll stay with that. And
Well, all right, switching gears tremendously here for the last minute and a half. You've got this railroad thing, and what do they call it? A
Turntable.
Turntable. Give us an update on that.
Well, I wish I had.
Watertown, of course.
I hope the next headline you can see out of Watertown would be that we've gotten some money for that turntable. We have a what they call a CRISI, C-R-I-S-I. Don't ask me what that stands for, but grant application on the table. That is for 70% of the cost, and we would have to match 30%. We've got part of that money, and we've got commitments that I don't think we'll have any problem getting our 30%. The 70% is the big lick. We have estimated it'll take $2 million to complete that project. It's possible, Coleman, if that comes through, that the city of Watertown could be working on a major sewer project, a turntable project, and street paving all during calendar year 2023.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll drive me nuts. But I'd like that challenge. I'd like to be able to do that. And
You
knock it
might
out.
be spending more time in Watertown than at your law office.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've heard me say for years the mayor's job will take whatever time you can give it, but it's a non-paying job, and you can't spend 40 hours a week. You got to pay the bills at home. But we could have 3 major projects. We will have 2 of those 3 going, and I hope the turntable is.
Well, I hope it does. I think that would be a boon. That would increase your tourism and increase your sales tax revenue. And
It would.
Increase business.
It would, and it'll help our people around the square. Anytime our sales tax revenue is up, your merchants are making money.
Yeah.
So,
Mike Jennings, thanks for being with us. That's it for a Wednesday, and hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.